What is up, risk takers? Welcome to the Kill Pete Strategy. I am Pete. I am a top player in Risk Global Domination. I have a daily release on YouTube. I'm doing weekday streams on Twitch and YouTube Live for the winter. If you are interested, because I am interested in getting better at the game of Risk, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Come along the ride with me, folks. For today's show, we're going to be doing the Week in Review, the weekly Risk News program for the final full week of February 2023. And boy, howdy, there's a lot to talk about this week. So, where to start? Well, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to talk about the semi-final round of the Risk World Championships Season 1 2023. So let's give a shout out to the players. Our 10 semifinalists, because it's zombies, are in no particular order: E.G. Sneaks, Kuel, Yar-Ah, One Shot, Saber 555, Tobias Glimmer 4s, Bertus, X-Zombie, General Baines 15708, and Stay Facto. Congratulations, guys. It is super, super cool to see how many folks battled their way to make it to the semifinal round, and we end up with the top 10. So, let's take a quick look at the scores. Far and away in the lead in terms of points, we have E.G. Sneaks at 93 points, having an absolutely stellar first 4 rounds, winning every single game and then some, and finishing round 5 at 14 points. Kuel at 87 points, second place overall. Yara sitting at third place with 79 points, and Tobias Glimmer 4 is one behind at 78. My buddy One Shot at 77, followed by Bertus at 76, X-Zombie at 75 points. And then there was the unfortunate matter of a 5-way tie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way tie at 74 points. 12 players, if it was a round without zombies, could have advanced, but only 10 could. So unfortunately, Pearly Bun and Cephas Stamper lost in the tiebreakers. So they are still highlighted in green. I guess if there's a no-show in the semis, they will be given a chance to return. But as it stands now, our 10 semifinalists are Sneaks, Kuel, Yara, One Shot, and Saber playing in 1 day, almost 2 days from now, and then Friday at 2100, we will see the other group play. I'm happy to do whatever I can to promote, stream, cast this stuff. I'm very excited to see who makes the finals. We also have our settings revealed. So settings for round 6, the semifinals, are World Conquest, Zombie Apocalypse, Blizzards on, Fog on, Stable Portals, Progressive Cards. So doing Prog Zombies in an everything fancy. Blizzard's Portal, Fog. Expert Zombies, 60-second turns, Automated Bot, Balance Blitz Dice, and Qualifying Top 10. We also have our finals settings revealed. The final round will be World Dom Progressive in Turkey, with no Fog, no Blizzards, and yes, Stable Portals. So we're going to be doing a cut from top 10 to top 6. So, by the looks of things, in each of these semifinal groups, only 2 of the 5 players will be eliminated. It was a harsh cut to make it to the semis. Congratulations to everyone who did. And let me just say congratulations and thanks to everyone who signed up and played this season. I have a ton of fun with this. It is nothing short of an honor to be able to help promote this tournament. So I am delighted to be a part of it, and I'm delighted to see that it resonates with so many. So thank you guys. You guys did great. You know I'll be back next season with bells on, and I hope you will be too. Right, what is our second segment? All right, segment 2, we have a sign-up to announce. The Risk Legends Tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, Risk Legends hosted on the Potato Paradise server by my buddy Studley Spudley. I'm going to post a link in the chat right now, and then I'll post it in the show notes for the YouTube episode as well. This link is the eternal sign-up link to the Potato Paradise server. So if you aren't on Spud server, go check it out. That is the link. And when you're there, you might as well sign up for the Risk Legends tournament. Risk Legends is a free-for-all tournament with VC. There's going to be a qualifying round for no points, and then I think it's going to be 7 rounds, and you get to play 2 rounds before the first point cutoff. So very similar to main server FFA with a few differences. You are allowed to talk in VC and coordinate and collaborate and all of the good and all of the bad that comes with that. This is the premier event, I would say, that is open enrollment for this season. Check out Risk Legends on Spud server. You'll be glad you did. And the final wrinkle, you're playing for real American dollars. My voice sounds a bit deeper. Yes, I got sick this weekend, so it wasn't good. Hopefully, I will have a chance to do a full promo episode with Spud at some point this week. But just so you guys know, I'm very, very happy to see that there is always a free-for-all tournament now. Offset to the Risk World Championships on the main server, you have the Legends Tournament on the Potato Paradise server. Go check it out. Spud would love to have you. I would love to have you. I'm going to be competing. So we'll see y'all there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Another tournament signups with this one is not open enrollment. So the Grandmasters tournament season 8 is also open for signups. Okay, folks, this one is being hosted on the Risk Grandmasters Arena. If you follow this invite link to the Risk Grandmasters Arena, Risk Grandmasters Arena hosts the 5-a-side tournament, which is open to all, and the Grandmasters tournament, which is limited to Grandmasters if you are or ever have been a free-for-all Grandmaster, not a 1v1 Grandmaster. Okay, folks? In my humble opinion, the Grandmaster tournament is the highest form of our game. Sitting in VC with other Grandmasters as the floor, it is a single player advances, but there are 3 games per round. So the format is you play a 6-player game, winner advances, a 5-player game, winner advances, and a 4-player game, winner advances. So we cut half of our players each round. Parlux would just like you to know that we are trying to get as many GMs to compete. We want this tournament to continue to be as successful as it has in the past. I know my buddy Kilted is looking to sit comfortably on his throne. I've never won one of these. I've came in second twice, but I've never won one of these. So I would also love to get my GM tourney title. And of course, many, many other challengers have emerged and will continue to do so. Remember, folks, here is the sign-up form. Again, I'm going to post all of these tourney invites and server invites in the show notes to this YouTube episode, but just getting it in my Twitch chat. If you are a GM, this is the one. The GM tournament is where you would want to show off, because you know that in any free-for-all tournament, any player at any skill level can take you out just like that. We see it with top players all the time in World Champs. And the thing about the GM tournament is the floor is just there, right? At least you know that the mistakes will be of a higher quality. Everyone makes mistakes. Don't get me wrong. I make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Okay? Not pretending that anyone is perfect. Gotta get Hot Buns to join? I bet you she's in. I'll twist those buns until she gets in the tourney. All right, folks. Exactly. Better mistakes. All right. So, the last thing I'm going to promote is tonight, the No Deal tourney on Major League Risk is also open for business. So, Major League Risk server, follow this invite link if you're not familiar. There will be a limited number of slots, and once they're full, they're full. This is just a one-day tourney that we're putting on over there on Major League Risk, and it's going to be 70% Las Vegas, 90 seconds, so it's mobile friendly. And then that is mistakes with a better rationale. You guys like how I put it, right? I'm not pretending that anyone is better than anyone else. As far as their ability to not make mistakes, we are all on our different stages with our learning journey. But I think having some sort of cutoff, some sort of exclusivity as far as one of the major tournaments in our sport, that's the difference between anything open enrollment and GM Plus. Okay, folks. Our next order of business, the devs have put out this teaser update. Let's go see what the devs have to say.
Risk Update 3.10 is nearly here, and here is a small taste of what's to come.
Taste it,
The
baby.
generals ask and the generals shall receive. We're super excited to kick off the year by tackling a highly requested feature from the community. Players will now have the ability to communicate with each other in the lobby while waiting for their game to start.
Oh my goodness.
This will include emotes or any of the brand new lobby phrases. This way you can let the game host know how you're really feeling about the number of
I'd love to know.
Game. So
I'd love to know how
I'm next match with some pre-game trash talk.
Trash talk with emotes.
SMG is nearing its 10th year anniversary this year, and to celebrate we are dropping some dice inspired by our own game Death Squared.
And we would like
Say
to advertise
hello to
the other
Steve,
games that SMG
Frankie,
makes. They
Emma,
also
and Barry.
make other
and don't
games.
forget to add these dice to your shiny collection. The team is gearing up for Risk's next update, which will feature a brand new out-of-this-world map pack and so much more.
New maps! Let's go!
And that's all for this update.
I'm tuned, baby.
Over and out, Risk Generals.
No one cares about dice? Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? They need to make their money somehow. So, what did we learn from this? They will be adding some form of communication to the lobby. Something's better than nothing. They will be adding more dice to the game. They need to make the money. And they will be adding maps, which is great. Okay, so that is a good thing and a good thing. Now, let's go over the community bulletin. Pink, in honor of Love Day, Valentine's Day, posted Friday, February 17th, the community bulletin number 14. Happy belated Valentine's Day. Just passed, and the team has put all of the love into their work. The new bulletin is here, and many changes are coming to the game. Mark your calendars, because what is coming is going to be out of this world. Did you know that this year will be SMG Studios' 10th anniversary? We definitely want to do something special to celebrate. Maybe we can start off with, you guessed it, some new dice. The Devs Journal says we're only in the second month of the year and the team is already serving a quality update. We're working on update 3.10, started a new season, and included a Risk content creator feature and much more. How awesome is that? Helping support the content creators who help support the game. I can't complain about that one. So, gameplay updates, you asked, and you shall receive. Players who have the ability to communicate with each other in the lobby while waiting for a game to start. We want to say a quick hello? Maybe you want to send an emote. Well, soon you can. Check it out. This is still a work in progress as final emotes and phrases may differ. SMG Dice is nearing its 10th anniversary, and we have these dice to present. New troops. We will also be working on general improvements and bug fixing to ensure the game's running as smoothly as possible. And then, as I got into last week, Season 9 on the leaderboard is open. We ended Season 8 with Kuehl in first place, both free-for-all and 1v1. And now we have a new leaderboard with Silent Legend at the top. Also, SMG recognizing and promoting the World Championships. My words, right? Not completely my words. We still see FFA here. But I believe I'm the one who started calling them the World Championships. And boy, howdy, that having caught on is just lovely. Welcome to round 5 of the Risk FFA World Championship Season 1 2023. Those with 56 plus points and 2 participants from 55 will be moving on. Okay, so this was last week. And it gives you the settings, Grease 70. And then promoting content creators, Risky Phil and JJ Brah on Twitch. If you don't know either of these folks, go on down to the community bulletin and follow. Look at this. Tune in for Mallory Lynn on Twitch. Kilted, March 3rd. Kilted has a scheduled stream for March 3rd. Awesome. My buddy Kilted. Let's go, guys. Yeah, seriously. Seeing SMG supporting us content creators, Phil, JJ, Mallory, Kilted, myself, it is really, really cool. I'm grateful that we are getting this kind of communication now. The ball is rolling in the right direction. I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to not be too hung up on anything being perfect or anything being timely. Let's just make sure we get our messaging together so that we can work together as a community to get what we want from the devs, right? It is not just about what I want. So I could say, I like this, I don't like that, but it's about what we want. Okay. Also, other Risk streamers include Escape the 4Z, Mr. Chris Plays 92, Kuehl Finn, Vampire Chicken, Simcopter 1, and of course, yours truly. and Harlow the Hawk, Poorly Played Risk, also known as Mallory Lynn, The Buckeye Tie, JJ Bruff, Fabian Ball, Smash Gaming 13. Links to everyone will be found on these, in this bulletin number 14. And finally, SMG is shouting out, we don't have a confirmed date yet, expecting to be the 2nd of March, the dev game. Okay, this will likely be your last chance to get questions in if you'd like to talk to the devs. I have a specific dedicated channel on my Discord. That's the Kill Pete Strategy, discord.gg/the Kill Pete Strategy. Get your butts in the seats. Ask your questions for the devs. I'm going to compile them this week. I'm going to put them into something coherent, and then I'm going to present it to the devs so that there's no gotchas, there's no surprises, right? We are very, very grateful that they're finally talking to us, and we're not going to squander the opportunity. So I'm going to take it seriously. I'm going to ask the right questions as the best as I can tell. You can upvote them, right? Help me figure out what is the most important to everyone. Okay, folks. And with this, we end the news portion of the show. Moving on to the Kill Pete Strategy Discord Q&A. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what I like to do for the Kill Pete Strategy Discord Q&A is there is a specific dedicated channel on my Discord where questions will be answered in priority sequence. If you are a booster of my server, you get priority questions asked and answered. And our first question is from a longtime inquisitor of mine, Bagel. I'm going to fire up a game. I played 2 games on Italy, Progressive World Dom, Classic Pete settings. I used to do quite well on these, and we'll see how I do. And then we'll start with the Q&A. So what I've been doing a lot more is we're gonna play a game that I've already played, so I can focus all of my attention on the questions. Our first question is from Bagel. Hi, Pete. New question. If you had to learn a new skill, what would it be, and how would you go about learning it? Okay, so skill acquisition, there's a lot of literature on the process of skill acquisition. The person who I think gets it just about as well as anyone is Tim Ferriss. So if you're not familiar with Tim Ferriss, that's Tim, Ferriss, 2 R's, 2 S's. He is a student of the craft of learning. As far as what I'm interested in, what are the edges of my growth at the moment, because I'm now invested in a media project, communication, messaging, learning how to project my thoughts in a concise, coherent package that is misunderstood as little as possible. We know I'm always going to be misunderstood. There's always some loss, right? You take an idea in your head, you extract it, you codify it into language, you then broadcast that language. That code is then decoded and then like, you know what I'm saying? But I even failed to describe this idea very accurately, but then it's coded and uploaded into someone else's brain, and then there's loss at every stage. So the skill I am working on right now, above all others, is how to control my ability to communicate so that I am misunderstood as little as possible. And great question, Bagel. I think there was another one. Oh, there's 3. We got 3 Bagel questions. Oh my goodness. Bagel says, there's a fun game called Moonbreaker that's a turn-based strategy game that's similar to playing Warhammer. I thought you might be interested if you ever found time to game, which brings me to the question. If you had enough time and money to do what you wanted, what would you do? Stream for fun, content create without worry of needing monetization on the content, play video games, work out constantly. I can't imagine a more swole, Pete. Oh, I definitely can. Honestly, and this might sound kind of cheesy, but I wouldn't do much different if money was no longer an option for me. I'm kind of doing what I want to be doing with my life right now, and that is such a blessing. Like, I like making video every day. It's fun for me. I don't think I would have done it for more than a year without making anything, right? Until if I didn't love it. So I don't think I'm at a point in my life where my financial situation limits me from doing anything I want to do. I'm interested in traveling a bit this season once I sell my lawn business. I want to see where I might want to live part-time or even full-time. Might want to move. So those are the things on my mind. Travel, still be able to make video. Hopefully I can still have a daily show or at least a frequent show on YouTube and Twitch, depending on how good the internet is where I am. But those are the things on my mind, Bagel. I want to travel. I want to figure out if there is another place in this world that calls me. Because my home no longer feels like my home. And that probably tells me it's time to go see what else is out there. And their final question, hey, Pete, I've been busy with school recently, so I haven't been able to pester you with nonsensical questions. What are your opinions on VR and what Meta is trying to create? I find VR games fun, but I don't see the practical use outside entertainment value in a headset. As full-body VR, which we are a long way off from, would be the only practical thing for virtual meetings instead of Zoom video conferencing. Long-winded question just to poke your brain about VR. Cheers. There are incremental steps towards the singularity, right? Towards this game, which I am certain will subsume all media. When this game is invented, we don't know how far off it is. I hope I get to live to see it towards the end of my life, because what a great life it would be to be born into, a child of the 80s, the analog world, no cell phones, no internet, no PC, and then see all of that arise up to the point where human beings can essentially become indistinguishable from our technological set. And I think that happens in gradual steps. I don't really think we see it in leaps and bounds, but we will see small baby steps towards, I don't know if you guys know Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but the metaphor I use is the Great Link. So Odo is a shapeshifter, and he turns into a liquid. His natural state is a liquid form, and the natural state of his people is a liquid form. So when they merge with each other, it's called the Great Link. They actually just sit together in a liquid ocean of each other, and their minds are connected, and they think as one, and they feel as one, right? And I think that is where humankind evolves into, with VR being an incremental step, right? I think we actually evolve into a technological cybernetic hive mind. And that really gets me about as far as I can get to without sounding like a total nutbag on the topic. So we will move on to another one. Okay. Where is the next Q&A? Psy13 would like to know, since there tends to be issues with the settings for tournament games, how about having 500 to 100 people test the settings and give feedback, or even tweak the settings for the round? It would require some more time to set up tournaments, but could also come up with settings no one would think about. Oh, God. Okay. How do I answer this tactfully? I think most, if not all, of those 50 to 100 people would not know what the hell they're talking about. Wow, that wasn't tactful at all. I think most people don't have a clue when it comes to good settings. So I think the best solution, I think voting here would absolutely be would result in the worst possible world. And I think the way you would get the best possible world is if you have settings that you love and you think are great, approach someone in a staff position. Approach streamers or approach staff on the Discord. Say, hey, I think this fully developed idea, right? I think this full set of settings are great. Here's the map. Here's the mode. Here's every toggle. Here's why I think it's great. Give it a shot. See if you like it. That could work. I would love to be approached with great settings and then critique them. Because humbly, I would like to pretend that I know what I'm talking about. As always, folks, your mileage may vary. Perhaps I am a moron. I would like to hope I know what I'm talking about. Most of the time, I think voting would end up with the worst possible world. Humbly. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Our next question is from Nilsson. Hey, Pete. I was thinking about death the other day, and not in a way that you might think. I was thinking about the benefits of thinking about one's mortality. It can be a humbling experience, help guide one's priorities in life, tune one's moral compass, etc. I was deep in my thoughts, and suddenly I heard some kid on the tram say, when I die, I'm going to heaven. As a reflex, I replied, no, you're not. Cue the dude meme, you're not wrong, you're just an asshole. Suddenly, I found myself in a staring contest with me versus 5 passengers. I found it a bit hard to explain myself, so I just looked at the kid and said, yep, it was awkward. I've yet to detect a question. The question. Does contemplating death have the same effect for someone that believes in the afterlife and for someone that does not? Well, that's a rhetorical question. Obviously, it doesn't. If you believe in something, if you have been told a story, or if you've told yourself a story where all you have to do to not be tortured forever in hell is to repent on your deathbed, right? Notwithstanding, we should probably seek to act in our best at all points, but taking the Catholic view, for example, if you're in that situation, there is a lot of relief in that belief. The idea that we just disappear and nothing happens is way scarier. I actually don't believe that nothing happens, but I don't know that I can describe to you guys what I actually believe in words and have it be all that meaningful. The way I think about it is, I'll try. The way I think about it is, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. This is one of the laws of physics from Isaac Newton, right? Newton's first law of thermodynamics or something like that. And if that is true, then the energy that comprises us, we are electrical animals running. We have an electrical meat computer in our skulls, and the program, the pattern of that electricity is the software. So my soul, my spirit, my being as a man is somehow associated with that pattern, right? It's algorithmic. So what happens to that pattern when I die? We don't know. Human beings try to leave a legacy. We often do that through reproduction. So my father would look at his 3 children and he would say, well, this is what I did. I have 800 and change videos on YouTube. So far, this has probably been the most successful thing I've ever done, which super fucking cool, right? I am beyond blessed. Beyond. So all that to say, something of us persists, but it's real tricky to pin down what. And as far as belief, well, I have a very loose definition of that word. Just about everything for me is a belief. I'm pretty much a Cartesian skeptic, and we can go into Cartesian skepticism another time because that goes off the rails quite quickly. But suffice to say, does contemplating death have the same effect for someone that believes in the afterlife for someone who's not? Of course, it has a different effect. Come on. I can take much solace in the idea that I go to a better place when I die, and that excuses me from perhaps not living my best life now. Okay. Next questione. Quest 105 would like to know, congratulations on the win last night. Can anyone see the tournament spreadsheet? And if so, where do we have to view it? Was this round 3? I'm guessing this was round 3 for me. If you want the tournament spreadsheet, it is available on the Risk Discord. This is the Risk World Championships tournament spreadsheet. It's available on the Risk Discord in event announcements channel up at the top, okay? You go down to I'll find it. The update section up at the top, and it's in announcements. Has it been moved? It's been moved to the tournament section, hasn't it? It's in events now. They moved it. Okay. If you want to find the tournament spreadsheet on the Risk Discord, go to events, go to event announcements, and click the link. Okay. Jesus Christ, moving things on the poor Peteman. Who's already terrible technology, eh? Contemplating death question 2. Where's the spreadsheet? 100%, right? 100%. Okay. Our next question is from Yoey. Oh, it's a continuation. Yoey says, part 2, I hate cap/anti-cap continued. Sure, stacking on your portal cap for 5 hours is fun. You get to teleport across the map. Great Scott! But this defeats the skill requirement, does nothing to progress the game, and leads me to want my claw my eyeballs out. I think you don't like caps. So why not have more extra incentives with the carnage? Oh, yeah, we spoke about this. So this is just another one of those things. More modes would be better. right? SMG giving us more options, more toggles, more abilities to make different card increases in progressive, different ways that capitals could be manifest. There's all things. More modes could be better. As far as your idea, everyone has an idea. So I can't really dig into what would work about this and what wouldn't, because it could take the entire rest of the episode. And I'm sorry if I don't do your question justice. But again, it's not my job. I'm not the dev, right? And I think the devs need to focus on a couple of things ahead of more modes even. I think they need to fix the ranking system desperately. And then just simple quality of life things. But that is why we don't take any one person's opinion. Okay. Our next question is from Hiss. Hiss would like to know, hey, Pete, have you ever dug into the Younger Dryas? I've become fascinated with the idea there was an advanced civilization before us that passed critical knowledge to the survivors. Thank you, Graham Hancock. So I looked into this in the secret interview with Maddie. I'm just going to look up the definition of Younger Dryas for you all, so you guys know what we're talking about. The Younger Dryas, according to Wikipedia, is the Younger Dryas, which occurred 12,900 to 11,700 BP, was a return to glacial conditions which temporarily reversed the gradual climatic warming of the last glacial maximum. That is verbose. It was the last stage of the Pleistocene epoch. Okay, so the question refers to ancient civilizations. So the idea that there is some kind of loss to history, but technologically advanced civilization on Earth that has influenced and guided us. Have I looked into it? Not deeply. I prefer the conventional story of history is already complex enough that I feel like there is, and we know history is written by the victors, right? It's very hard to say with any, again, this is the Cartesian skepticism again. It's very hard to say with any certainty what happened thousands and tens of thousands of years in the past. So if you look at evidence, you say this points to this or that, I'll believe it as much as I believe anything else, which is not much. I'm interested in the idea that there could have been a hidden ancient civilization that was technologically advanced. But I also think that there was a ton of bias nested in that idea that somehow human beings that looked physically and probably thought exactly like we do couldn't have, say, built the pyramids or whatever. Because we know that anatomically modern human beings have evolved something like in the past 50,000 years, but then it was only in the last 10, 15,000 years that we had language and writing complex enough to build things like that. All that is, suffice to say, anything is possible, and I don't make my mind up or pretend to have any clue what could have happened 15 plus thousand years ago. Okay, I hope that's not a cop-out answer for you, Hiss, but I tend to be more conventional in my belief structure until proven otherwise. I'm always open to that proof. Okay, our next question is from... It looks like Dynamic People is just responding to Mioe. The question and answer thread is not a chat thread, folks. All right, our next question is from Mitch Kahn. Hi, Pete. You mentioned in your most recent video, final round 3 practice for the World Championships at, we got a timestamp, at 9:41 that you were conducting a Play with Friends match. Someone from the chat requested to join Johnny. And you shot him down. I remember this. Soon after, he mentioned that his move, as this was a practice game, was the most realistic decision. I'm butchering the sentence. Soon after, he mentioned that his move, as this was a practice game, was the most realistic decision points-wise, to which you affirmed your decision through chat, pick related. Why are you upset that a player optimized points in a practice game? You regularly, quote, ruin other people's games through well-timed attacks, clearing bonuses, feeding bounties. Why is it any different this time? Against you, regards. Okay, so the context to this story is I am playing a round 2 practice game, Play with Friends, on my stream. Now, there is a reason why it is very, very challenging. for me to play practice games on my stream because these games get consistently ruined now. What do I mean by ruined? I think this is the question that Mitch is trying to understand. Okay. Players accidentally ruin my games. Not intentionally. Most of the time, a player who is playing against me and purports to be my friend will join a practice game, and the idea behind my practice games is I am trying to learn the settings for whatever tournament round we are practicing so that I can do my very best in the tournament. Now, this specific instance, I had perfectly kill guarded a player behind a capital, and I wanted to take their bounty and take their cards later on in the game, when the cards would be worth more. What Johnny did was he slams into my capital, which he believed was a strategically correct decision points-wise, which caused a chain of dominoes, which ruined my game, completely wasted my time. Nuke failed to kill me, and then I couldn't even retaliate on Johnny because I got eliminated. Okay. So I spent, however many minutes playing a non-game of Risk and not learning anything, other than learning that not to play with someone who's going to ruin my games. Now, he thinks his move was correct. So this is the crux of the question. If you think your move is correct, and I ask you not to do it, and you say, no, Pete, I'm going to choose to not learn, I'm going to do that again, then unfortunately my only solution is to assume that you're not my friend, and I can't. And I've learned, right? The thing I've learned from this is that I'm not going to waste my time in a practice game with someone who doesn't respect my time. That's the thing, okay? So if a player comes to me and says, hey, Pete, I want to play with you. I want to practice with you. I say, cool. I say, prove me wrong. You know what I mean? Here, Johnny's in the chat. Johnny gets it. I still do it, my friend. It was fog. If you said for me not to, I wouldn't have, but I wasn't watching. I'm not saying you weren't watching. I'm saying that your move... Here's the logic. I can go through why I think it's wrong. Okay, as with everything I say carries with it a grain of salt. Maybe I'm wrong. So, because you wanted to prioritize taking that bounty in the practice game, if I had the ability to slam all of my troops into you, making you die next, which I 100% would have done if I had a set on 4, you lose too. So we've both learned nothing, right? You've learned that you slamming into me gets me slamming into you. That's idiot level Risk. That's fucking basic bad neighbor thing, right? We should know better, Johnny. Yes? You also failed to kill him. I know. You wasted a lot of troops. It was bad. It was all bad, and it was a huge waste of my time. So, people who purport to be my friends, please, the only thing I value, don't waste my fucking time. And I would just like to say also, to Mitch, I'm detecting a very noticeable string of uncharitable takes. So if you would purport to be my friend and ask me questions in the Q&A, I would expect the empathy to exist on some level. But we shall see. Okay, next question. We're still talking about that. All right, we got one from Maddie. Drew never said he was my friend? Yeah, you did. Are you lying? Our next question is from Uncle Traveling Maddie. In some cultures, bribes are used and accepted by victims of crime. I believe compounding lies have led to the tyranny. I'm curious to know, how much money do you think it's spent on keeping lies related to crimes? How much is each lie worth? Example, Nikola Tesla created a non-natural metered energy source. JP Morgan would have lost everything had it been implemented. When we lie to make money or accept bribes, how much money or what bad crime would you pay to get away from? Would you be selling your soul / bad karma? All right, there's a few questions here. Let's start with the first one. How much money do you think gets spent on keeping lies related to crimes? Tons. History is written by the victors. So, okay, if you guys haven't heard of the term regulatory capture, look it up. The entire business model of the United States currently, corporations are legal persons. Legal persons are allowed to donate to political campaigns. The entire legislature of the United States of America is bought and sold by its businesses. So whereas the government of the U.S., the Congress and the Senate are the de jure leaders, they are not the de facto. The business interests are the de facto. And we're getting a raid by Hot Buns. Thank you, Buns. Hey, Buns. Everyone was asking earlier if you signed up for the GM tournament. I hope you did. We want to see those buns in action, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so because of regulatory capture, the ability to buy those who write the laws then lets them write the laws in your favor. So how does this connect to lying? Well, if it's legal, what does the Emperor say in Star Wars? I will make it legal. See, I got that good rasp in my voice today. I will make it legal. So that's the thing, right? I have very low respect for the law and much more respect for the virtue of justice. And that's a really, really tough ethical needle to thread in this world. So I try my best to do what's right for me, for my honor, for my sense of ethics. And I often see that cut up against what is legal. And I think this cuts the nature of your question, Maddie. If it is true that Nikola Tesla invented a non-metered energy source and the power brokers behind JP Morgan would have lost everything had it be implemented, well, what an awful world we live in, that greed is allowed to supersede quality of life. But it seems to be often the world we live in. So how do we get from here to there? How do we get to the just world, right? This is something I'm extremely interested in having a conversation about, but I do not pretend to have the answers. It's very difficult and very complicated to get right. And those who have tried to get it right have often got it oh so wrong, right? Okay. Our next question is from Chegwich. Hi, Pete. I wonder what you thought about this risk suggestion. It's something that the game desperately needs, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Serious though, I love the content put out by both you and Kilted. You guys are both amazing content creators and stand-up dudes, as are a great number of other risk content creators and community. Yes. Please keep up the good work. To any crazy people who are somehow hearing this and reading this and haven't followed us on YouTube and Twitch, do it. Do it now. Oh, I'm at Arnold, eh? The suggestion from Chegwich, oh, this was an odd job joke. I can't believe that lead up for an odd job joke. He says the game needs an avatar of odd job from GoldenEye 007. Kilted needs to represent himself properly. What the fuck? So my favorite part about this whole meme is that Kilted brought this on himself. I don't play odd job. You play odd job. I literally just got back to see an odd job joke. Law and Chegwich is here. Excellent. Excellent. I hope that I did it justice, sir. Okay. Our next question is from Ia Finn. I'm not sure if this is the right place. I'm really enjoying your videos and learning a lot. I started playing and hope to get better. Me too. At times in your videos, you will mention due to how slow the game is, living, because you're at a standstill, it's like watching paint dry. I mentioned that the game is boring, so I say it's like watching paint dry. I was wondering if you wouldn't mind commenting on how you would have played a move. Sometimes you say, I don't know why they did that, or if he does X, then I know they are bad. Yes. Could you mention at the time what you feel the right move is, trying to learn from the best? I may not be the best, but I am always trying to learn. Finnis, fuck you, Shima, with the gift sub. Thanks, bro. Thank you so much, Finnis. I don't know where you've been recently, but I missed you. Are you signing up for any tourneys? We got legends and GMs. Get in there. I want to see Finnis. I miss you. Okay. The answer to your question. Yes, I will absolutely do that, and I'll try and do it more. I try to project, obviously, myself into other people's mental states. That is a key skill in FFA, empathy. as I've always harped on about. Hey, thank you, Leona. Choo choo. Thank you, Leona, for the biddies. Yeah. But yeah, sometimes it's difficult for me to verbalize different things. So if you're confused about something specific, maybe you can ask the specific and give me a timestamp. That helps the most, because obviously it's a very complicated game and I'm trying to play and I'm trying to win and trying to model who's playing it. Okay, let's give this game as an example. So I remember playing this game, right? So I'm doing 2-position play because it's Italy. Italy is a small map. And I think I broke red, and then red set early, or he does. I break red again, right? On my upcoming turn. So it's always risky to break someone's bonus because red's at 21 troops. I'm only slightly over him. I think I go around to break him. I go pop, pop. I'm pretty sure. So I might make a blood enemy out of someone. So what you do in this situation is you evaluate your opponent's ability in the game by how they respond to different things. You only have such limited information to work with, right? But because the red player is right after me in the turn order, I can learn a lot by how they respond. And I think this will be a very instructive turn. Because I think I break, and then we're going to see what he does in response that will tell me immediately that he's not very good. Not a fan of this map because it's small. All right, so purple's doing something similar. Purple's into 2-position play as me, but they don't take a second bonus. What do? I go pop, pop, right? I think about it for a bit. I'm like, do I want to keep antagonizing this guy? Do I keep on? I want to keep him off a +3? Who really gives a shit about a +3 in progressive? But I do it. Maybe I was in a bad mood. Or just a bad neighbor mood. But I do it. Okay? So what does he do in response? Sets. He takes the first set. He takes the 4 trade when he's in line in the sequence for the 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 trade. So he loses 2/3 equity natural from his trade to take a bonus in progressive. How often do I tell you guys not to do that? Now, I could explain to you in great detail how not to do that, why not to do that. If you're interested in learning how to play progressive, check out my progressive playlist. But that told me all I need to know, because if you watch the rest of this game, I don't want to give it away, but you will see that him losing equity in those cards like that in absolutely no universe could possibly be made up by multiple turns of a +3. Let's go on. And that's just one example of Finn. So that tells me everything I need to know about red. That move told me that I needed to stop bugging him because he's really bad at progressive, right? That is a noob move, right? That is someone that still doesn't understand how valuable the cards are, and he's really playing it like it's fixed. He's in the, what's that bonus even called? Yugoslavia? Adriatic Coast, I think it's called in this map. But he's in the no Adriatic Coast, no win mentality. And like, we're playing Prague, right? It's kill or be killed. Okay. Our next question is from Patience Dagger. Hey, Pete, what's your favorite movie of all time? My favorite movie of all time is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I love Sean Connery. I love Harrison Ford. That blonde Nazi is pretty great. Great looking girl until she turns out to be evil. The whole movie, action, adventure, comedy, it's got it all. That's the one. That's the one for me, folks. All right. Spencer, Carl's on music, would like to know, can anyone explain the winning percentages of an attack? Say, like you attack with a 7 against a 5. Something I just watched on YouTube. Somehow Pete knew that wasn't enough based on percentages. I said it wasn't 100% roll. Anyways, is there a table of information or some kind of equation I can figure out besides the basic 7% is much bigger than 5? Also, the slider thing, when it's appropriate to attack with 1 die over and over all your troops. Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to answer this. So there is a table. It's in the main server. You go to the strategy channel, You check the pin. There's one most recently posted by Kuel. Made by Jack6, posted by Kuel. This was posted on January 4th. So let's bring up this table. We're going to pause the action. Let's bring up this table. This will be instructive for a lot of people, just to bring you guys up to speed on the dice odds. So we have the BB calculator. We have the 100% win BB. We have attackers left BB. We have attackers left capital, attackers left zombie. This is the one I want you guys to pay attention to. This is the most important thing you want to know if you want to understand your odds for Risk. Okay. The win percentage for balanced blitz. First thing to remember, balanced blitz rounds every outcome 85% probability and up to 100%, and every outcome 15% and under to 0. In the middle, it advantages you if you're over 50% and disadvantages you if you're under. So if we have one attacker versus one defender balanced blitz, we get rounded down slightly, 36.54 to natural odds, which would be around 40%. This is why I always say if you have time to slow roll your 2v1s, slow roll your 2v1s. The inverse is true for 3v1s. You want to blitz that because you get almost 89% odds, and then 4v1s have been rounded up to 100%. 4v2s are 75%, 5v2s are 93%, and then 6v2s are 100% rolls. So these are the numbers you're going to want to memorize. 4v1, 100%. 6v2, 100%. 7v3, 100%. 8v4 is 99%, but 9v4 is 100. You want to get to these 100% odds because they are the sweet spot, and you don't really have to memorize much past the 10. You use a good rule of thumb after that, and the rule of thumb is if you're about 5 troops over the stack size, you get to like 98%. So then 6 or 7 hits you at 100 past about 10 troops. Okay? Was there another part of the question? Oh, and to talk about the slider, we've talked about the slider a lot. If you want to investigate the slider, the first thing you should do, check out my short on the subject. We would like the slider to default to 100% to take rather than the current default, which is 100% of stack. And this helps circumvent the idiosyncrasy/flaw in balanced blitz, where you can end up losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 troops to a 1 when rolling large stacks into smaller ones. Oh man, it feels like I'm talking a lot, but I'm getting a lot done, which I'm happy with. I think this was the move, right? If I have the game playing, then I can focus all of my energy on the questions. I don't know, what do you guys think? Am I answering these questions well? Get your questions in there, folks. I would love to be able to answer all my Twitch chat questions, answer all my YouTube comment questions. It's just not humanly possible. And I know it sounds so douchey when I say that, but being that I am one man with a limited amount of time, and every day I'm trying to be as efficient as possible. So this is the mechanism I have chosen to get your questions answered. If you want that priority, you can boost the server. If you want to get them answered in sequence, they will be. I promise. I'll do my best for all of you guys, okay? I'm really trying to do my best. Might be losing my voice, but we'll get through a few more this episode. Our next question is from Crazy Kyle K. Hey, Pete. Keep up the great content and conversations, my guy. Have you ever thought of playing other board/strategy games to reach a wider audience? No. Yes and no. So yes, other games. No, not to reach a wider audience. For me, I come first, right? I would think of playing other games because I would want to seek that. And if it ends up being resonant to other people, great. But I don't do things for you first. I do things for me first and hope you like it. That's how I choose to make video. Perhaps Settlers of Catan, no. Chess, no. Catan, I find is too lucky, and maybe that's because I don't know enough about it. But I find Catan to be luckier than Risk. Prove me wrong. And chess, no. I'm just not that smart. I like Horde chess. Might be a chance to upload more unique content like GeoGuessr videos and reach more people to your channel. I'm very interested in setting up a second channel. I have tried to do that so far and been thwarted, but I fully intend on setting up another channel where I can post whatever I feel like and not have to worry about the YouTube algorithm liking it or not liking it. My regular Risk videos are super typecast as Risk, and that's fine. But I would like to get to a point where Pete can be more than Risk. And I would like to get there sooner rather than later. So if someone were to help me set up a second channel, that has been on the back burner for too long and needs to get done. Yeah, so currently what I have is a bunch of GeoGuessr stuff, and then I want to restart the podcast, get into long-form conversations again, and then whatever else, talk about whatever's happening. Okay, our next question. Our next question is from Word. Wait, Parlock's giving me shit. I love you, Parlox. He says you can just DM me. So Parlox set up a second channel for me, and I took he's like post the 13-hour finals video that Cowboy won, and I did a cast of it with Stove. So first I have to find the file, which takes some time. Then I have to join the file into a single file because the stream died. So I had to wait however many fucking hours it took to join a 13-hour media file. Then I had to post it. So I post it to this fucking YouTube channel. After waiting the 13 hours or so it took to post, I discover that there was some error associated with the channel. So I'm just like, Jesus Christ, right? How much of my fucking... And again, maybe people don't understand how I work, but the non-renewable resource for Pete is time, right? I'm incredibly time crunched all the time, and I hate that feeling. So when I do something and it amounts to having multiple hours of a waste of time, I will not try that again, at least not right away. So when I say I need other people's help for that, the most important thing is don't waste my time. And this is a common thread in this Q&A. I wish I wasn't so choked, right? I wish I had the ability to like wake up at fucking 8 o'clock in the morning and eat right and go to the gym and meditate for 20 minutes and fucking come on stream and be like this bombastic, fantastic human being that you guys find so remarkably entertaining. But it's really difficult. I gotta tell you, it's really difficult to keep my life together just given all of the amazing shit that is happening, right? That's the thing. This is not a lament. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. The fact that I am so busy and I'm so passionate about being so busy is a fucking blessing, and I'm so grateful. It's just overwhelmingly difficult for me to encounter a speed bump that wastes my time and then have nothing to show for it. Okay. Moving right along. And Drew says, you're gonna help me set it up. Yeah, well, thank you. We're still working on the name. We're still brainstorming the name for the channel. That's fair. That's a fair one. Okay, Word would like to know, yo, Pete, what is something nobody on stream knows about you and would be surprised to learn? Oh man. So here's the thing. I'm extremely honest, and that's me. That's the Pete you guys know and love. But I'm honest to a fault, right? So I've shared with you along the way just about everything that comes up when it comes up. So you get me, you get the full unbridled Pete, and I'm glad you like it. But all that to say, I don't know that there's anything that isn't a secret that I could think of to share with you guys now unprompted. If there's someone in chat right now that has a specific question about me, a personal question is welcome. Maybe we can answer that. Just give me one specific personal question. And that will serve as the answer to your question, Word. Llamas would like to know how big are my feet? 10 and a half. finished as I did. What's the question? Favorite high school memory? Ooh, okay. What's my favorite high school memory? Leaving half a semester early. I detested everything about that high school. I still do. When I think about high school, I have an immediate visceral negative reaction. I hated every second of that, of those 4.5 years. And my favorite high school memory was leaving early. That's not true. My favorite high school memory was my first kiss. There we go. We'll do a better one. We'll do a positive one than a negative one. My first kiss was in a hot tub. And this girl was super into me, and I had no fucking clue why. She was super into me, and I was over the moon about it. I was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe this beautiful, I think she was Hong Kong Chinese. This beautiful Asian girl was interested in me, and we had a glorious, glorious makeout session in the downstairs hot tub of her parents' condo, and that is a treasured memory. So there we go, Kilted. You got the good one. That's the goods I can share with the stream. It was glorious. It was everything I would have wanted a first kiss to be. And you know what? I can tell you more about the story. So what happened was, girl says to me, after we were talking a bit more, I was quite young. She's like, "Are you a virgin?" And of course, me, honest to a fault, I'm like, "Yes." So this is one of those situations, and she immediately lost interest. So one of those situations in life where the strategic lying in retrospect could have come in handy. And yes, there was definitely more than kissing in that hot tub, my friend. All right, folks. Goodness gracious me. All right, so for this game, this is my first look. Played this morning on Speedster's stream. First look at the semifinal settings with one of the semifinalists. One Shot. We're helping One Shot practice live on Speedster's stream this morning, and you'll see how the old cookie crumbles. Why is there no audio? Oh, that's weird. No game sounds? Oh, I just turned the sounds off. There it is. Because we need the headphones. That's why there's no audio. There is audio, dumbass. Okay, our next question is from Rope. Hey, Pete. I was recently in one of your games, purple player on Königsberg, and I've been struggling to get above master. What advice would you have? Oh, you were purple in the Königsberg game. Oh, cool. Oh, I can answer your question. I got one better for you, Rope. Rope's going to get, we're going to answer Rope's question at the end of the stream. Okay? We're going to finish this. So I got 33 minutes of video. We're going to answer a couple more questions. I'm going to get to you, Rope, because I got one better for you. Okay. Our next question is from Gladiator Melly. If Kilted and your cats were in a burning house, who would you save first? Kilted. That's not close. Kilted. Right? Unfortunately, humans have to rank ahead of cats. Unfortunately. Kilted said, "Hey!" He's like, "Yeah, I'm glad you'd save me over the..." Hey, speaking of cats, hey, kitty. Said it hurts to miss innocent kitten. Yeah, Rip Reggie. Hey, man, if you have to make that wholesome response, yeah, I mean, look, I would choose to save both because I am a hero. But if I had to choose, it would be my buddy Kilton. Okay. Tombstone would like to know, waffles or pancakes? Ooh, both delicious. Yeah, Phil's like, I love Kip, but my dog dies over almost any person. I like the almost. That's a good qualifier. Waffles or pancakes? I would say pancakes, but my mother's pancakes. So what she does is she does certain kind of batter, and the first ones the pan isn't quite hot enough. So what I like is I like how the bottom of the pancake like crusts up a bit. That's the ideal pancake for me. Just like a little layer of like crunch. Something about what my mom does with those pancakes just warms my spirit. Okay. All right, I can do it. I can do it before my voice dies. We're going to shoot some video. I'm super raspy, I know. Do you like the evil dark side, Pete? Yes. That's why there's no karaoke redeemed today. All right. Nathaniel would like to know, hey, Pete, I randomly got suggested one of your videos by the all-powerful YouTube algorithm about 6 months ago, and I've been hooked on your, as well as other content creators' videos ever since. Welcome to the community 6 months ago, Nathaniel. I just want to say thank you for you and everyone else in the Risk community for cultivating such a welcoming, fun, and entertaining environment. Now, my question to you is, oh, you're welcome, dude. This is something that I've been very passionately, intentionally building, and I'm so happy to see others take up that mantle. I think we're doing great, and we're on to bigger and better things with the Risk community. And I'm glad you noticed, and I'm glad you're a part of it, Nathaniel. Okay. I just want, my question to you is, of the philosophically musing sort, suppose you had a book which contained anything and everything you could possibly want to know about your future. However, anything you read in this book would inevitably come true, as it would. And nothing you could ever do could change or influence what you read about the book happening. Similar to Oedipus, how Oedipus could not prevent his own prophecy from coming true in Greek mythology. Would you choose to read the book or not, and why? And if you did, how far would you read? Edit. I can also post this at the Philosophy Forum because I'm curious to know what other people think. He says, feel free to check out the post. On the exact same question, there's some interesting points people brought up that might be helpful to consider my own stance. I will read after, because normally what I'm doing with the Q&A is it's just an honest gut response. How do I think? What do you think about this? Well, let's think about it. No, I wouldn't read the book. So one of the things that makes life worth living. So I'm a determinist, right? I actually think that the book is written. I think this book metaphorically actually exists. But one of the things that makes my life feel meaningful is the fact that I don't know. So why would I sacrifice knowledge of the outcome in order for assurances that it would occur? Like I go into every scenario in my life with as little expectation as I can muster. I'm trying my best to put myself into a place where I'm just open to receive whatever the universe has to offer me, and I try to enjoy the shit out of the present moment. So, no, I don't think I'd read the book. I don't think I'd want to read the book. Someone would be like, well, maybe you could, what if you won the lottery or something? Well, listen, I already have. I am living my best life. I already have won the lottery. I am so, so blessed, and I feel that in my heart every day. I feel like I'm on this amazing journey to I don't know what, and I can't wait to find out. That's how I answer your question, Nathaniel. But it's a great one. Are ancient Greek statues that realistic looking? Are they all Medusa's victims? They're all Medusa's victims, Finis. Finis is asking the tough ones. He's throwing out the real Fukushimas. Good to know. Yes. All Medusa's victims, each and every one. No skilled sculptors in ancient Greece at all. All right. Our next question is from Giratina. Hey, Pete. In a recent video, you claimed to be very masculine. Entirely so, if I recall correctly. What does masculinity mean to you and why? All right. We're going to leave this one for now. I've spoken about this. I'm happy with what I've said about this, and people do not seem to be able to engage with this conversation intelligently. So I'm going to leave it for now, and maybe the conversation around masculinity can return at some point once I figure out how to pay attention to people who know what they're talking about. So feel free to ask it again in the future. And I'm sorry if that isn't a satisfactory answer right now. Our next question is from Chad, the XC Dude 96. Since fortune favors the bold sometimes, I'm going to ask, would you be willing to interview me for Waiting on Your Best Behavior? Yes, I would love to. I'd love to talk to you, Chad. I'm working on setting up a context where I can do the show in a way that doesn't hose my YouTube algorithm, and you would be on a short list. So I have like 3 people lined up who maybe 4 who would absolutely take priority, but then I've really been meaning to get back to the podcast, guys. I love doing the podcast. This has been a long time since I haven't done it, and I really, really, really want to do it. I love connecting with people in that way. This is something that you guys might not know a ton about me. So I value friends and family. I value connecting with other people as the highest calling. So sitting down playing a game of Risk with a new friend that I get to ask, maybe a new great player that I get to learn from, or just an interesting human being that I get to learn from. I love learning. I'm so like, I'm voracious. I'm insatiable about knowledge, right? And I'm interested. I'm so interested in people. People are super interesting. So I'm sure we could fill some time. I'm sure we could talk about anything, and I'm sure it would be fascinating for me, as I hope it would be fascinating for you. And then downstream, I would hope it would be fascinating for the audience. So yes, Chad, I would love to. In fact, I will invite you to the podcast server. There you are, sir. Okay. And we will work on it as soon as I get that back up and running. Our next question is from Test Chimpanzee. Hey, Pete, do you believe that morality is a concept that is subjective and differs from person to person? Yes. Or is there a general objective view of morality that is universal and unquestionable? No. Okay, I am a ethical relativist. So Kant, Immanuel Kant, 16th century, 17th century German philosopher, brilliant mind, known for a number of things. His ethical theory revolves around a notion of objective morality. So Kant uses this term called the categorical imperative. In translated German, it means it goes something like act according to that maxim that you would will it to be a universal law. And what does that mean in plain English? That is the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now, as far as an ethical rule, that's great. The problem is that we live in only context. So, although I believe that there is an objective reality, I don't believe that we can perceive it, which might be a confusing position for a lot of people, as are most of my positions, right? And I don't pretend to have any of that sorted out, and I'm sure my opinion will change in the future. But where I'm at right now is I don't think ethical rules can exist outside of context. So I think context makes everything meaningful, and the way it is meaningful is usually me first, right? I don't think the market force in ethics is all that bad necessarily. Like if I get to lead with something that selfishly benefits me but doesn't harm you, that's win neutral. If I can lead with something that benefits me and benefits you, that's win-win. So that is the ideal ethical framework that I work from. I don't mind if you win. I need to win though. That's how I look at it, how I think about it. How does that apply to objective versus subjective morality? We are the lens. We are the thing that observes the universe. So, given that we are the lens of experience, we ultimately fail in applying a universal ethic. I think rightness and wrongness of events is an entirely human contrived thing. It's like the difference in the question between was math invented or discovered? Well, if your definition of what math is the notation system that we use to understand it, then we invented that. But if your definition of math is the natural laws that notation system represents, then that's discovered. Do you see what I mean? That's how I think about ethics. So I always ask myself in a circumstance where let me give you another example. I almost never feel guilty anymore. Why? I have this little thing called a conscience, and I bet you do too. And every time I'm about to do something that would make me feel guilty, you know what happens? It goes, hey, Pete, you probably shouldn't do that. You might feel like a piece of shit. And then I go, oh, really? Perhaps I should listen to my conscience. So the reason I don't feel guilty all that often anymore is I stopped doing shit that makes me feel guilty. Oh, Gerald boy. Ladies and gentlemen, we got one last hurrah with the Meepo boy. You are such a sweet kitty, Jerry. I'm going to miss you so much. Look at my beautiful kitty. I love you. I love you, and I'm going to miss you. And I hope to see you soon after you move away. I'm sad about this. I'm very sad about the prospect of losing my little boy. But it is the way the cookie crumbles, so we move on. Okay. Our next question is from Tunin. Hey, Pete! I like your stuff. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Tunin. I will. 2 questions. Number 1. Do you think every human being feels guilt for intentionally harming other humans? Interesting, we're talking about guilt again. Harming other humans physically and mentally. If not, how do bad people suffer for their badness? When do they not experience inner turmoil? Ah, great. Okay, cool. We'll start with that one. So, do I think every human being feels guilt for intentionally harming other humans? No. There is this thing called psychopathy. Psychopaths apparently lack the ability to empathize with other people. What they do is some sort of pseudo-empathetic adaptation, which makes them kind of parasites on society. My definition of bad people suffer for their badness was a very oversimplified way of saying one's felt sense of enjoyment of life. Like, I don't suppose that the psychopaths' felt sense of their enjoyment of their own life is as rich and full as yours or mine, assuming you're not a psychopath. And I again, I'm not using the term psychopath hyperbolically. I'm using the term medically, like the medical definition of psychopathy. So guilt, the feeling of guilt is not the only punishment that the universe could bestow on us. Punishment isn't even the right word, right? Like, if you lack an emotional valence, you simply lack the color, you lack the experience. You don't experience, it isn't there. So it's like color blindness, or it's like not tasting a delicious flavor, right? Imagine you couldn't experience some form of pleasure, right? You wouldn't necessarily directly say that you suffer from the lack, but you wouldn't know what you're missing, right? That's the best way I can describe it. All right, your second question. While I admire your faith in people being good, rational, objective, I do not believe that. I feel your expectations of them are too high, referring phone voting. Yes, let's talk about it. I feel a similar scenario would play out like in the Orville Majority Rules Season 1, Episode 7, where people were able to execute anyone who doesn't act like the majority. In essence, I believe your solution would create a real-world Twitter. My question is, did you consider this possibility, or do you find the notion absolutely ludicrous and an impossibility? Okay, so the very first premise you're operating from is not a position I hold. I don't think human beings are inherently good or rational or objective. I don't believe that, and my experience has not borne that out to be true. So, what do I believe? I believe human beings are self-interested, and I believe if we have the right incentives to advocate for ourselves in a franchise, then we would, which is slightly different. So, I value freedom. Now, what freedom is really relative, right? The concept is super nebulous, and it means different things to different people. I value my ability to act as if my decisions are meaningful. And I value integrity and truth. So when I am obviously being lied to, let me give you an example. The current mayor of Toronto has resigned because he was found engaging in sexual behavior with one of his staffers, which apparently is frowned upon as a politician, who are expected to be held up to some sort of nonsense exemplar of morality, which we all know they're not, because they're humans and they're just as flawed and broken as you and I. So, because we're holding these people up to exemplars, except for the fact that the entire system prevents them from doing so, because they are self-interested. So they're going to work in a way that benefits them, as would you or I. So what I'm suggesting is we create a system of incentives so that we properly structure those incentives to create the downstream outcomes we want, like more equitable distribution of resources, like like the Rawlsian idea of a decent minimum. These are the goals that I have in mind as a aspiration. I would want to live in a world that was more equitable, right? I would want to live in a world where Donald Trump shitting on a golden toilet would be looked at as the most revolting, disgusting example of everything that is wrong with culture, not somebody to aspire to. Maybe if I am as passionate and as slick and as verbose, I can be like him one day, Dad. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That anyone on this earth could look up to him as an exemplar of anything other than disgust. It really boggles my mind. But I feel that way about every other politician too. They just don't. They're just not as honest about it. Donald Trump is honest in how disgusting he is. In a way that the mayor of Toronto would be like, no, I didn't cheat on my whatever. Oh, actually, you're a liar and you did. Like, that's the thing too. If you're gonna have sex with someone, what makes it worse? Lying about it, right? Like, just be a man. I'm a man. I wanted to fuck. Like, it's not really surprising to anyone. I don't understand why you can't just fucking be honest. Like, what do men want to do, right? We have to have this nonsense public fucking persona of how you're supposed to act. Well, no shit. Our mayor failed. And now we have to elect someone. And every single person who is going to try and pitch to me to try and get my vote will fail, utterly fail to represent my interests in every way. Because all I want to see is I want to see a future where I can vote on my phone and I can represent myself. How do we iterate to that? Right? I would like to be enfranchised. I would like a turning lane off of the highway so I don't have to wait for no reason, burning fossil fuels for no reason every single fucking time I want to come home. But guess what? There's no one I can talk to. Why? Because I'm not actually free. Because there's this ridiculous bureaucratic structure around everything to get everything done, and all it does is successfully siphons off large portions of mine and yours and everyone else's productive value into the pockets of parasites. Pete for mayor, and as some of you might know, I did run for municipal government way back when. How do we tie it back to the question? I don't think it's a matter of faith in the goodness of people to rely on the system. I think it's a matter of system design, and I think having a well-designed, carefully designed, very rigid, very critical system that gradually moves towards enfranchising the individual electorate and disenfranchising the status quo and the super rich politicians is absolutely, far and away, the only system I can use the word democracy to describe with a straight face. And yes, the alternative is absolutely possible, and there is a huge risk in that too. And again, similar to the conversation around masculinity, I don't expect people to engage with me in the comments about this intelligently either. So, preamble, as you're typing up whatever you're typing up in my YouTube comments, the way to get your questions answered is this Q&A. And sorry, guys, again, I would love to chat with everyone. I'm just trying to funnel it into a workflow that actually gets it done and doesn't overwhelm me with extraneous noise, right? The signal to noise ratio. Okay. Our next question is from Mitch Kahn again. Okay, Pete. Hi, Pete. Preface. You've mentioned many a time in recent videos that you were proud of your round 4 performance. Yeah. Playing the world. Yeah, dude. How awesome was it to make it to like top 10%? I can't help but strongly disagree. Ooh. Oh no, we have a editorial. This is not a good faith question. Okay, let me read it out in its entirety. Hi, Pete. Preface. You've mentioned many a time in a recent video that you are proud of your round 4 performance playing in the Risk World Championships. I can't help but strongly disagree with this sentiment. Okay, you are not proud of my performance. Between your very first card acquiring mistake, yes, aggressive overexpansion, poor awareness to bluest troop placements, exterior position, and blatant game-ruining suicide, there is nothing to idolize here, in my opinion. While Blue undoubtedly instigated conflict with you early on, it was obvious his ambition was to keep you off 2 bonuses, evident by the fact of him not breaking both at given moments, not have you destroyed. This escalating further after stacks became hit from both sides, mounting tension, etc. Interestingly, this game also featured an exterior clear of black by purple, which impressively didn't lead to a suicide. As Under the Gun well articulated, you're playing a long-term strategy regularly and intentionally sacrificing real opportunities to win serious games in a feeble attempt to psychologically bully opponents for uncontested future match expansion. My question for you is this. Wow, that is the least charitable take I can imagine. My question for you is, would you not consider this sensitive, revenge-oriented emotional state to be unfitting for that of an experienced professional player? Kind regards. Okay. I'm extremely proud of my performance in that game. I feel like I played my seat to the very best of my ability, up to and including the point where it was absolutely impossible for me to win and I was the fish. So, how do I answer your question without being hyperbolic? I don't need to use hyperbole because of the nature of this interaction. So what I'll say to you is this. All players in Risk are at different stages of their understanding. There's a long road for all of us, and it never ends, right? I start all of my shows with, if you are interested in getting better at the game of Risk. The implication is because I am interested in getting better at the game of Risk. So, those who know what they're talking about understand completely why I did what I did. If you are confused about why I did what I did, chances are you have more to learn about the game, and I am here to teach you. The final piece, would you not consider this sensitive, revenge-oriented emotional state to be unfitting for that of an experienced professional player? That is a straw man. I kept my cool. I didn't do anything that I felt was unstrategic or emotional. I just lost. We lose. And as I've often said, any player at any point in these games is capable of making you and themselves lose. And that's what happened this time. Now, I would hope that there would be a lesson. My lesson was that certain people who are at the sub-threshold understanding of why I did what I did would react the way that you have and conclude that I was just responding emotionally, which is adorably simplistic because when you think about it, could you imagine how stupid I would have to be to work really hard to make it to round 4, to work really hard to help get thousands of players to play this, to work really hard to make this video, and then all of a sudden just say, fuck it, I'm gonna kill this guy. Like, sure, fuck it. I guess I'm gonna throw just to punish this one kid. Like, give me a fucking break. All right, dude. I highly, highly suggest that you take a little bit of time. Do your best to ask questions without the bias, and I will happily engage with it. But as far as editorializing on my show, that's what my show is for. I get to editorialize. I'm going to play my best game of Risk. Sometimes those games of Risk involve encountering another player who makes you both die. That's the game. We've all been there if we have played it for any amount of time, and it doesn't sound like you have. So you're learning, and that's awesome. I wish you the best on your journey, sir. In no universe would I have chosen to walk into that game to say, I sure hope someone goes bad neighbor to me so we both get knocked out of the tournament. I'm really interested in proving a lesson. I'm not interested in proving anything. I'm interested in winning fucking games. So I played that game until I absolutely, positively lost. And once I absolutely, positively lost, there's only one thing left to do. If you guys saw my round one, the blue player in my round one game got bullied out of a position and eventually became the fish and died. So there is a precedence for this, not in the annals of Risk history. There's a precedence for this in the very same tournament I'm competing in. It happens again and again. It is a fixed problem. The psychology of fixed. Risk is a very psychological game. Fixed is a very psychological game. The blue player in my round 4 game was surprised that I reacted the way I did. Which argues my point, right? If you're surprised, you probably didn't take something into account. It was a good question, but I'm now done talking about this. Fuck. Like I'm going to fucking throw to prove a point to someone I don't even, to ruin someone's game I don't even know. Like I'm just an asshole. Like I'm walking around fucking winning tournament games just so I can punish some random guy I don't even know. It's like, what? I don't even care. I don't even care about you at all. I don't think about you. I don't know you. Why would I punish a random person? Right? If I had some sort of fucking vendetta against a player. Oh my God. Adorable. Good luck to you, sir. All right. Beatraj would like to know. Hi, Pete. There's been a pretty lengthy conversation on the tournament chat on Discord this afternoon in the wake of the final R5 game regarding the fairness of the final group having 100% knowledge of the posted scores. I am a bit salty as one of the group is being cut. Oh, this is Cephas Stamper, who missed on tiebreakers at 74 points. Okay. 3 players from Group 8 made the finals, the most of any group. I contend they had significant advantage by knowing exactly how many points they needed to make the finals. My issue is that this single group, by nature, doesn't maintain the status quo with the rest of the tourney to maximize points. Tobias Glimmerforest was in that game, recognized his advantage, and mentioned that he chose to make a suicide play for a bounty, as he knew fourth in a bounty got him to the semis, where points no longer matter, and I feel like this could be corrected by either hiding R5 results or announcing multiple R6 options, including one zombies option, so that we don't know if the cut line is 10 or 12, then announcing that you have a... No, you're still... Don't... Let's stop with the solutions. This is my first tournament, and I've loved every minute of it. I got into Risk in the fall. I found your channel. Couldn't figure out how to attack fast like my opponents. Maybe SMG is doing me a favor. No. SMG is doing the community a terrible disservice by nerfing the noobs and making way, way, way more players leave the game before they ask that question. Anyways, I love your content and appreciate what you do, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the issue. Yes. Okay. So, what you were talking about, Cephas Stamper, is a fundamental issue of fairness. So, Cephas Stampers bring up a point. He says, I lost to tiebreakers. I was in the second group. I was in the last group before the advance to the semis. So everyone in that group, no, that's not what he says. He says the players in the last group. I'm trying to summarize the problem for you guys in plain English. Round 5. The players in the last group before the semis have perfect information as far as points and tiebreakers required to advance. This violates a fundamental principle of fairness. I agree. Now, how do we solve it? Well, I believe that in order to accommodate this reality, as players become more and more adept at points begging in VC tournaments and points angling in non-VC tournaments, I think the way we combat this in points-based tournaments is we hide points the entire time. You might be able to figure out. I think what you do is you can still have a leaderboard, you can still have a list, but I think you hide everyone's points, so you can't know exactly how much is required. I think we absolutely positively need the incentive to be every player plays to maximize every single point in their game every single time as an ethic for this game. And I think if we don't have that, we end up with a very bad scenario, very bad downstream effect, partially like what you're talking about here, partially like points begging in VC tournaments, XYZ. Okay. This video is now gone an hour and a half. I want to get to the last question, which is a juicy one. I want to get to Rope's question. So, Rope would like to know, hey, Pete, I was recently in one of your games, the purple player on Königsberg, and I have been struggling to get above Master. What advice do you have for people looking to finally break to GM? Could it be that I'm not playing enough? I only play 2 to 3 games a day, and I think that it might be why. Thanks again for all your help in the community, and I will continue watching your videos to help me be the best player I can be. Okay, Rope. So, I'm going to do something I rarely do, but we're going to give you a critique of your game. This will be exciting. And this will be how I end the video. So, it was Königsberg. Where's Königsberg? Luxac McGee plays Königsberg. Let's go. All right. I'm going to bump it up. I don't know who enjoys the Kill Pete strategy at double time, but let's see what we can do. And we'll do some Pete on Pete action. What is up, risk takers? Welcome to the Kill Pete strategy. I am Pete. I'm a top player in Risk Global Domination. I have daily release on YouTube. And I rarely do this, but you're going to get some. What a great question! You're going to get some personalized coaching from this. On Königsberg. Okay. World Dom, Königsberg, Auto 60, Expert Bot, Automated, Progressive Cards, Balanced Blitz Dice, with nothing fancy, no fog, no blizz, no portal. Okay, so it's World Dom Progressive, the thing I'm good at. The first position. Ow, 1-6, White player. In position 2, Hora, 15926 from the Netherlands. Plays blue. In position 3, Expert AI. In position 4, with Juan Mustachio, 33. Playing as Magenta from the United States of America. And we're watching Purple's play specifically. And finally, I'm in position 5 plays yellow. And finally, we have J-Rob. J-Rob, baby, J-Rob. Purple player from All right. Okay. So white goes. Just stacks. You have all stops. It's +5 Trackheim, +3 Ross Garden, +2 is a 4 for 2. Sackheim, +6 with another 4 for 2 V's in front, 2 for 4 in the middle. You have Blue goes, takes the middle. Blue takes a +4 in the center. Scary. Really good start for blue. The bot does bot things. All right, so blue's going to take a strong position in the center. +4 turn is nothing to sneeze at, particularly when you get it on the first turn. I don't think anyone breaks. Maybe purple does. But I don't think purple's rolling that 7. So Magenta wants bottom right. I get a bonus. Fair. I can go pop and take this. They lose some troops. Okay, what do? I take a bonus turn 1. Bold move, Pete. But I also guard down here, right? Yes. So, all right, first of all, my first turn. I take a +3, but I don't guard it. And I also make sure to buff my exterior stack. Now, what do you do? Fuck it, right? Take a bonus of my own. So, I'm going to not guard. I guess the bot will break, though, so I should do that. And I get a joker. You take a bonus of your own, right? I don't normally advocate taking bonuses in progressive. If you can get on the first turn, and if you can get it without wasting any troops like I did. Right. I love that move. I totally would have done that. So far, so good. You got really bad dice. I don't think you're slidering. So unfortunately, I have to advocate for this nonsense. You can lose. So check this out, guys. Purple player starts with the +6, so that 5 becomes an 11. He rolls the 2, loses 2. He rolls the 3, loses 3. So he loses 5 of his 6 troops that he puts in. He's already at 19 troops. So he takes a +2, but it's going to take a while for that +2 to pay off. So you actually even though you have a bonus, you start off on the back foot. If your bonus got broken, that would be even worse. But it looks like we have a nice thing going. You and I can be good buddies this game, right? Order situation, and he moves quickly. And he guards. And I see that he moves quickly, so I know you're good. I have the middling bonus of the 3 players who have a bonus. He has a +2 and +3, and blue has a +4. So now I got to worry about what happens now. Okay. White does nothing. White has multiple stack play. We do with this. Why hasn't SMG fixed the slider and set it to 100 to take? We don't know if SMG is even aware that this is a problem, right? SMG moves super, super slowly. Where did that bonus taking prog play come from? The caveat is always there are maps where you take a bonus. There are maps where there are circumstances where if you can get a bonus early and you don't guard and you just get it given to you for free. Blue does hold their +4, so blue's at 30 troops now almost. And I have never maintained an opinion that there's ever an objectively correct strategy for the game risk, so you have to stay in contact. So blue makes a mistake here, I think, by not totally all in on the middle. Having that middle super, super, super strong. Okay, key mistake by blue. They hold the +4 for one turn. They now need to hold that forever because that +4 punches out. So if they hold it the rest of the game, they win this game. But they didn't. They stacked on the 6, which is a hedge. And it also pisses off white, who is trying to take this bonus. What do I do on my second turn? I hold the +3. I guard against the bot. And I get an easy take, right? Yeah, on the bot. Perfect. Okay, so I have a perfect 3 position play holding a bonus. I'm very happy with my game so far. What do you do? Okay, you hold your bonus. You buff. You have a great 3. You're playing a great version of what I'm trying to do as well. No mistakes yet. Purple is good. Blue's also pretty good. And you break the bot. White might be okay. Great. Good job. And now, sorry, magenta got a big piece of the punch, and now white is inside a bonus Magenda's trying to take. What does white do? The quantity or fact of being great in number, quantity, or important. The quality or fact of being great in number. That is the definition of preponderance. Okay, white is trying to... Oh! White goes suicide into blue. So I am... Me and purple are the halves in this game. And then tries manualing the stack. Yeah, I think blue's mistake was stacking behind him. I think this 6 triggered that suicide. Important thing to notice, this cuts back to our conversation about the merits of good neighbor theory. Never leave your... This is a maxim, a Pete strategic maxim I'd like to share with you. Never leave your opponent with nothing to lose. That's a great title for the show. Never leave your opponent with nothing to lose. If they feel... And it doesn't have to be true. It just has to be if they feel like they have nothing to lose. Then they've lost. And once you've lost, you no longer have a stake in the outcome. Okay. Yeah, it is, exactly. That's why it cuts nicely to that answer. Never leave your opponent with nothing to lose. So blue is now on the back foot. He goes from 30 troops to 21. And white suicide. So now we have an opening in this game. This game is open. I was expecting blue to keep pace with me and purple, and they don't. So now it looks more like me and purple are going to be the winners. Blackbot retakes their bonus. Okay, Magenta hits the white single and stacks on this bonus. Magenta finishes theirs. I'm predicting what people are doing. You want more attacking styles? Yeah, well, this is how metas shift, right? They shift because of things that work. Yep, and breaks. Poor blue. Blue can't buy a bonus. All right, so now I'm in the lead. I'm in 34 troops. I have a 5 exterior, an easy hit on white, leaving white in 1 less position. So now white's in 2 places, mostly accessible by me, and I get double joker. So what purple player doesn't know is me having double joker almost ensures that I win this game, because playing World on Progressive is kind of my wheelhouse, but look how happy Pete is. Look how happy. He's like, I win, yay! All right, what does purple do? Purple breaks the bot again. 27 troops, not far off me. Still playing great. No complaints about your game so far. All right, we see white player set. Is white an AI? Yes, white is quit. So now there's 2 bots in this game. Rolls my 7, rolls my 5, but the position still exists. Okay, so our first trade is done by a bot. I still have lines on white. Okay. And then blue says, fuck this guy, because he suicided into me. Fair enough. Why would we ever be shocked at removing someone who ruined our game? I don't know, but we see it again in Risk. The blue player removed the player that ruined his game. We see both bots trade early. Okay, bot hits purple again. Bot's still on my border. Okay, takes a second bonus. Okay.
Now I need to get that 3 off my border.
Magenta holds. Now takes the middle.
Breaks blue middle. Takes it for himself, right? No, just guards. Guards interior. Fine. I don't love this.
The interior guard, but it's not. That's 6 attacks up. All right, what do I do on my 4th turn? Let's see. I consolidate into 1, 2, 3 position, I think. Oh, I move into the corner. Yes. So I try to flank blue. Let's see if it works.
I think I flank.
Yeah, I do flank blue. I move into the corner. 2 10 guards. Those 10s are going to be used to make the kill, and I pull my troops into the corner so now that they can parry out to make the kill when the time is right, which is soon, because I have... No, I didn't pause it. I just left to get a coffee. All right, purple's turn. Turn 4. Removes exterior black, but doesn't break either bonus. Good turn by purple.
All right, folks, powered by caffeine. We are back. And Jonathan, give me some head for the heart. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the 2 1 my friend. Thanks so much.
What does blue do now?
He just had 14 cups of coffee. All right, blue sets in, gets the 8 trade. So they put themselves even earlier in the matching sequence by taking 1 card on white. Are they going to take this bonus for themselves? Is blue on the bonus plan? I think they are. No, they're going to give me a road out.
I'm unsure why blue did that. That move doesn't make any sense to me.
And we let the bot hold 2 bonuses. Interesting. So
Okay, bot got strong.
Has less material up here than it does down here. It might actually make sense when we clean them out of this pocket. Clean them out of my pocket.
So now I'm thinking of removing the bot from up here so that they put a ton of material down on the other side of the map where I'm not.
It's thick, folks. It's very thick. Magenta is thinking about what to do. They decide to take the middle bonus for themselves finally.
Does Magenta take the middle?
This 5 is in a dilly of a pickle. I don't want to find myself in a single position.
Magenta's not very good. All right, here's one of those questions from earlier in the Q&A. So my reaction to this move is Magenta's not very good. Why? Well, one of the principles for free-for-all progressive is you want to put yourself in a number of large positions at this point in the game. We are now transitioning from the early game to the mid game. The early game is about troop consolidation. Build a few killer stacks. The mid to late game is about paying off those stacks to make kills. So, splitting like he did here does him no advantage. Leaving a 6 locked does him no advantage. He has most of his troops useless for making kills, which is where you want your head to be at this point in the game. So, when I say things like Magenta's not very good, moving up but splitting, leaving 6 troops locked, those are tells. Those are saying to me, wow, this guy doesn't know how to win.
We'll see how this goes. That positioning is ideal. Blue refused to let me flank him, which is fair. What set am I going to get? Force to trade one of my jokers. All right, so I'm going to get the match point currently is 10. Who gets the 10?
I'm calculating my kills now. Purple plays his 5th turn.
So we don't want to make a kill in the second sequence.
No. No. This is your first mistake. Purple sets early. Why? Let's see if we can figure out what the thought was. I'm going to try and read your mind. So, I think you were trying to make a kill with this set. Are you trying to kill blue? 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. No, your line is bad. If you wanted to kill blue, you would have gone here. 11 can move down. You turn the 11 into a 15 and kill blue. But even killing blue right now isn't great because you have to destroy 28 troops for what's the set? 10? So you go negative on the... He's thinking about the pink kill. For 5 cards? I mean, it's not really possible. So if you were trying to kill... Again, what's the set right now? 15. No, the set's 12, right? So if you're trying to kill pink player, well, let's see what you do. Don't set early, guys. Unless you can make a kill and recoup those cards. And then he hits black.
think they
Hit a
managed to
5 stack from black? No. Okay, this is your mistake. This is why you lost this game.
I think they fucked up.
You set early,
Okay, they take the middle bonus.
and you didn't recoup the cards from the set. Not worth trading yet. Okay, we found the error. That's good. This is the learning experience. Okay,
Blue takes the 12.
now blue sets gets the 12.
For it. Looks around. I mean, no, can't kill magenta. Magenta is going to survive to set. You got this, dude. Thanks, man. I'm looking good. I'm looking good right now. The follow-up Joker is pretty clutch. Double Jokers I've been getting these days. You know what?
So I get the biggest set in the first sequence, and I have a guaranteed set in the second, which means I can make that kill in the second sequence.
That might be my line.
JJ says, obviously not worth. Kilted says, not worth trading. Yeah, it's obvious to JJ and Kilted because they are top players. Not obvious to the purple player whose game we are reviewing, Rope. So we are learning from you. We are all learning together.
Thank you, Johnny boy. What the hell? 1 year.
Okay.
Absolutely crazy. Keep going, my dude. You be good one day. GG, John. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
And then what do I do on this turn? This turn I make a kill, right?
For a year, for an entire year. Can you believe it? All right, Magenta.
What would you have done as purple? I would have gotten a card and passed.
Knock me out of the pocket.
Sat on 5 cards. I would have gotten a bigger trade than Pete.
Don't do something dumb and block me in. Obviously, I'm gonna leave, you idiot. You're gonna put up a big ass block. Oh, bro. I hate that. All right, 3 isn't big enough.
Okay.
Stupid slidering.
So I kill black. Yeah, I bitch about the slider. I kill black, I get good rolls because I slider. And then what? And then I set, which triggers the 20.
All right.
So when I made a kill, I set in turn,
That Joker.
so I don't go down in troops. I go slightly positive. I connect through blue and move my stack into the middle of the board where it is accessible to make kills again. Königsberg kind of radiates out from the middle, but I don't go bad neighbor, and I've never gone bad neighbor to purple the entire game. I have the guaranteed follow-up. I just got the 20. So next player to set gets the 25.
Pink's not a homie. I think Pink is just fairly new.
I think that next player to set is
Blue better. I
Pete.
think, purple is best. He's best, bro. I think purple is probably a master Grandmaster, whereas blue might be a touch under that, and then magenta could be a beginner still. Let's see how the ranks all shake out, though. It's not breaking me. I have 3.
New slider text seems very lame. Knowledge gate alienating new players. Yeah, and it's not even strategically interesting.
For 2 cards.
It's just clicking.
I wanna kill someone for 3.
Like, it's just a bad default, right? Also, how you been, Wes?
Well, magenta would have 4. Maybe I can kill magenta on 4.
Nice to see you, buddy.
Let's see what they do.
Alienating new players seems to be SMG's jam, huh?
To a straight line.
Living the dream good, man.
All right, I take.
Me too. All right, so I set. I actually do something here I don't normally advocate doing. Purple moves out of my way, and I make a kill for 4 cards without trading it again. But I think I'm in such a lead in terms of troops that this game is over already. So yeah, honestly, Purple, you made one mistake. You traded too early, and you didn't get anything for trading early. So this game, the only thing I would have done differently is I would have held my cards another turn and then lined myself up to make a kill, maybe on magenta. You would have got magenta instead of me, and then we would have been in a real fight, you versus me. Because now all that happens is you smash me a bunch, but I have that guaranteed set on 5.
I like the play. It's not going to work.
Blue won't have enough to kill me because blue can't set.
We have to put it at the top.
This game is over.
Unless blue opens it here, that makes it even easier. You put 7 troops at the top. Not even. It's actually quite tight.
I kill you now. You get third. Yeah. GG. Honestly, man, you played a great game. You made one key mistake. We articulated it. There will be many, many more on the path to learning, but that is what the game is all about, bro. You played a great game. You've learned a lot. Your question in the chat, just so that we can put a pin in it. I have been struggling to get above master. What advice do you have for people looking to finally break into GM? Unfortunately,
Hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you found some-
World Dawn Progressive might not be viable.
Fun and entertaining.
We are punished by the current nature of the ranking system for our losses far and away outside what we stand to gain. So the means by which World Dawn Progressive used to be viable no longer is such. So if your only concern is rank and ranking up to GM and not getting better at Risk in general or getting better at World Dawn Progressive, I might recommend, unfortunately, to learn different settings. And it really hurts me to say that. You guys can tell that it hurts me to say that because I love World Dawn Progressive. But if settings aren't viable, I can't tell you that they are with a straight face. That would make me a liar. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for watching. Stick around on stream. We're going to do a viewer game after this. But for YouTube, we are done for the Q&A portion of the show. That was really satisfying for me. I got a lot of interesting stuff sorted out. I hope it was interesting for you. I appreciate you guys. The feedback on these types of shows, I like to do the news part at the beginning. I like to do pre-recorded, maybe some kind of idiot-proof settings like fix caps, take a card, pass. We got a ton of tournaments. Sign up for Risk Legends. Sign up for the GM tournament. Be there for the No Deal tournament. There's lots going on. There's also the Classic only tournament in the works on the main server. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. I am so grateful for all these interesting questions to get into, for the criticism. Maybe I got it wrong. Help show me. Just be nice. Just be kind, nice, and respectful. Yeah, as I said, we're going to do one more viewer game on the stream, but we're calling it for YouTube. Thank you, folks. I love you. I appreciate you. And for all of you on the path to world domination, good games and good luck.